Welcome back to another episode of the Aussie Gamers Experience podcast. I am your host, Snoogs, and joining me on deck tonight is my ever-vigilant co-host, Grejio, as we go through the top news and gaming stories from the week. So sit back, relax, and get ready for episode 326.
Whoa, this is the Aussie Gamers Experience podcast, the show with irreverent live listeners, raging hosts, and eventually conversation about the best and the worst of the video games industry. So, all that you're required to do now is to pick up your poison of choice. Expect the best, but prepare for the worst, and above all, enjoy the show.
Thank you, everyone, for joining in for us again this week. Dredge, it's only you and me tonight, mate. How you doing?
I am well, and yourself?
I'm pretty good. I spent most of the weekend trying to recapture my youth.
Is that like some kind of weird time-shifting pedophile thing, or you just...
Well, I've got to get the lock fixed on the shed, so I don't know. Yeah.
I suppose if anyone's going to, do anything to you, it might as well be yourself.
Might as well.
You've been practicing self-abuse for how long now?
It's not abuse if you agree to it.
Yeah.
How about yourself, mate? You had a good week?
Yeah. I mean, the weekend was pretty cruisy. I had a couple of children's birthday parties to negotiate, but other than that, it was pretty good. Pretty good.
Very cool. Shout out to the people in the chat. We've got Radicus and the Wraith joining us live. Thank you, boys. Hope you are having fun this week as well. So let's jump into the show, shall we, mate? It's only going to be a short show this week because most of the news that I've found is either social justice warrior bullshit or just bullshit altogether. So,
isn't that what the news is these days?
I think it might be mainly.
Just make up shit. That's what everyone else does. So.
Yeah, we just make it up as we go along.
How about we just make up some news stories once we finish with the actual news? We
could probably do that, though it might get cut out.
That's fine. I don't care. That's for the live listeners, baby.
For the live listeners. We're going to jump straight in with the PS5. I get to talk about the PS5. How cool is that? We've also got Xbox xCloud, Cyberpunk info, the Metal Gear movie rumor, and a few other games that we'll talk about as well. So let's jump straight into it, shall we, mate?
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to kick it off with I got to get my PS5. I picked it up last week. I loaded it up. I turned it on, and I had an issue straight away with it.
Issue as in it had something it needed to do, or issue as in you took issue with it?
I took issue with it.
All right. Well,
so I have
good.
I have a 6. Well, all right. So generally, I play most of my gaming here, right, where we're doing the show, and I'm in front of my 2 monitors, which are, I've said it before, they're 1080p monitors. And that's fine with me if everything's running at a nice constant frame rate at 1080. That's fine. But PS5's brand new bit of gear, right?
Yep.
There's a big thing on the box that says 8K and 4K 120, right?
Yep.
Beautiful. Okay, so it's a 4K that we can output to. I can watch, 4K stuff through it. I can set it all up. I can play games in 4K 60, and it'll look nice. My 65-inch Hisense 4K television is not compatible with the PlayStation's version of 4K.
Is it 30 seconds? Is it 30 seconds older than your PlayStation?
Oh, mate, I don't get it, right? So I was never able to do it with my PS4 Pro. I could never set it to 4K. I just get so it wouldn't come up that there was no signal or anything. The screen would just go grey. And I just sort of went, okay, I'm probably using the wrong HDMI cable because I've got, a dozen of the things. And I just went, you know what? I'm not playing it out here anyway. I don't care. I then ended up getting the Xbox One X and plugged that in using the cable that came with the One X because it's green. It's, completely different from all the others. Plugged it in, the One X, sets it at 4K, no issues whatsoever. The Series S, no issues whatsoever, runs it at 4K. I tried it with the cable the PlayStation came with, the cable for the that I used for the Series S, which was the 1X cable, and nothing. Still gets the grey screen. When you go into the menu and everything, it says that the TV supports 4K, but they will not talk to each other. It is absolute bullshit. And for Wraithy in the chat, it's in the right HDMI, mate, because it's in the HDMI 2.0, because 2.1 is only brand new. My TV is about 2-year-old. And so it's in the HDMI 2.0, which is where the 1X is running at 4K. I switched them around, so it's not that. So that was the first little bit of fun. So I had to reset it in safe mode. So I had to start it in safe mode, change it to 1080p and get it running. I've tried a whole raft of different things. I haven't heard back from PlayStation. I haven't heard back from Hisense. I just, in all honesty, I've kind of given up on this very particular moment. But so that's the first problem. I had to restart it, then let it go about its thing and doing its updates. It doesn't like playing games that are updating in the background. So, for instance, Astro, it was doing its update. Astro came pre-installed. It was doing its update in the background. I said I could play it, so I'm like, yeah, cool, let's at least have a look. Astro looks absolutely amazing. I've got to say that the ray tracing version on it and what it actually does for the gameplay-wise in telling you about what the PS5's got is absolutely amazing. But it hung and crashed 3 or 4 times until the update. Since the update, not a problem, but just those first couple of things and getting into it. So, yeah, that was a nice, good way to start it off. But
that's insane.
Yeah. So let me just say the setup was not fun, was not easy. There was nothing overly problematic except for the 4K side of it. But and luckily enough, I had enough smarts to be able to get around it. But it was not a flawless setup. So got on there. I started downloading the games. The PS Plus collection is a great idea, except that there's only 3 games out of the 20 that I don't already own, being ones I've played on either Game Pass or that I've already got on the PlayStation and finished on the PlayStation. So that's a great little setup.
And on top of that, we all know how you feel about backwards compatibility games.
Oh, yeah. Well, if I've played them once, I'm not going to go and play them again. So.
Unless it's Lego Star Wars.
Well, that's different. That's being remade. So I've been lucky enough. I've got Miles Morales, the new Spider-Man. So I picked that up. I traded in my PS4 and got myself a second controller and Miles Morales. Just quietly too, a second controller for $109, and it doesn't come with a charging cable.
Fuck off.
G'day everyone, Editing Lucas here. Hope you're enjoying the show so far. Just jumping in to say I'm pretty sure that none of the previous PS4 controllers, or even the Xbox One controllers for that matter, ever came with a charging cable. I don't think this is new. Back to the show.
Yep. So I got the game. I'll tell you what though, the game, I got an absolute steal on that. I was talking to the guys. I went and traded my PS4 Pro in at EB Games because I'm not going to use it anymore. Traded it in. I said, I want, Spider-Man. He goes, do you want the full special edition or just the standard one? I said, well, I've already platinumed Spider-Man, so I just want the new version. He's like, all right, no worries. He goes, hold on, I've got a traded in one here. I said, yeah, right, cool. Save me $20 I'll take that. Whatever. It's just on a disc. Who cares? Brings it out. Someone had traded it in without even opening it up, and it was the full complete edition.
Huh.
So he's like, bargain, mate. There you go. Done there. Miles Morales on the PS5. I will start off by saying this game is heavily held back by the PS4.
Yep.
It should there's nothing wrong with it, but you've got the choice of visual mode or performance mode. So visual mode will run, at 4K and with the ray tracing and everything on, and it runs at 30 frames. Performance mode turns the ray tracing off, but runs at 60 frames. This game, look, and I'm only running it at 1080, right? So I thought, okay, well, maybe it'll do something a bit better. here. If I'm running it in performance mode, it really loses that next-gen feel about it. It's still running at 60 frames, and it does look amazing, but the effects that the light and the reflections and the shadowing and everything that comes with ray tracing, you lose all that. Running it in visual mode, the game is absolutely amazing, but it's held back because it's not getting that 60 frames, and there's certain probably models character models and things like that feel like the old PS4 game.
Yep.
And other than that, though, it's more Spider-Man, which is always fun. It's a lot of fun swinging around. The bioelectricity that Miles has is a lot of fun to play with and utilise. So far, I've just been enjoying. I get very lost in that game. I did in the original as well, and I get lost with just, what's that over there? What's that over there? Let's go and have a look at that instead of following the missions like I do with most of these games. But yeah, lots of fun, mate, so far.
Cool. So now that it's all up and running properly, you're happy?
Now that it's all running properly, I'm very happy with it, I should say. The speed of the SSD is amazing.
Mm-hmm.
It's very quick. Even something like, I haven't gone as far as installing Red Dead Redemption on it yet, or GTA. I should really try that out. But something like Fortnite, I have installed Fortnite on it to see how it looked running on the PlayStation with the ray tracing and everything turned on. It looks brilliant. That long loading that usually happens at the start of Fortnite, that's all but gone. It's very quick to load up, and switching between the games on the fly is seamless and indeed very, very quick as well. The console itself, look, everyone's talked about how big the PS5 looks, right? And that it's just this massive bit of kit. I'm here to tell you that how big you think the PlayStation 5 is, it's bigger.
Yep.
It is fucking huge. I still love it, don't get me wrong. I still love the size of it. I love the shape. I love the look. But when I actually took it out of the box, even I stood back and went, "You're shitting me." It's a big bit of kit. But and that's because it was the first time I'd seen it in person. I'd only seen probably 3 days earlier. It was the first time that I saw the One X in person. And the One X is a bit of a chunky piece as well. It's it's not as high. Oh, the Series X, yeah, sorry. So I'm all over the shop with them. So the Series X is a massive unit in itself. It's just not as tall. It's obviously a much bigger, differently laid out. The console, the only noise that I get out of it is the occasional whirring of a disc. And the only game I've got on disc in there at the moment is Spider-Man. I don't get any noise from the fans. It's all very quiet. It doesn't get hot. Even going full on with Spider-Man for a few hours, it doesn't warm up. It never spools up the fans. It's just nice and calm while it's playing, which I like. The 600 and something gigs to play with, I've near on filled already, but that's to be expected, really. But really, when I've got, I think, only 4 or 5 games that are actually PS5 games that need to be on the internal hard drive, I can plug an external in and get rid of most of it. So it's not really that big a thing. I think it'll be good once the M.2's sort of released and they've got those drives that they can work with. But until then, we're kind of limited with what we've got. The next game that I want to talk about is Demon Souls. Yeah. Demon Souls, everyone's had something to say about me and playing Demon Souls. And look, I'm in complete agreement with you.
How long did you spend playing this game?
I'm not finished playing this game yet.
All right, so how much of time have you spent on the game so far?
How much have I spent? I've spent about 20 minutes to half an hour so far.
Yeah, so you still got half an hour as far as I'm concerned. From my quote, you still have half an hour on the clock.
Yep. I'm well aware of that quote. It's playing in the back of my head. You know what? It rang true in the first 5 minutes because the character that I picked, the way that they fight is ridiculous. So I want to change them already. But for the title itself, it is a true next-gen title. It is very much it's been built for the PS5, and you can tell it in every tiny little bit of detail that's in the game. It's still Demon Souls. It's not this big open world where you've got millions of things going on. It's a linear story or a linear sort of gameplay that you go about and do things and die lots. But the reflections in the water, the lighting, the sound, everything about this game just blew me away to start with. Then I started fighting, and like I said, I got a little agitated because the person that I got, I thought would do more than just like parry, and it's definitely like it's hard to talk about because I haven't got very far into it. The boss at the end of the tutorial killed me in one hit, and yeah, I'll be going back to that one when I move it in when I move it into the office to stream, because everyone wants to see me raging on it. So I thought I'll stream it and we'll have a laugh about it later on. What else have I played? Just trying to think now. Sackboy.
Yep.
Sackboy is loads of fun. For something that I thought I'd probably rage at harder because it's a platformer. It's a relatively simple platformer. I think I didn't want my kids outdoing me because they've actually gotten further than I have. They've actually been playing this more than me, and it's sort of showing with them sort of moving along leaps and bounds with Sackboy and Astro. So it's a nice, easy game, again made for the next gen. Looks amazing, sounds amazing. It's got all these little features that sort of work in regards to how the controller works, and more to come on that one as well. I think that's about it for what I've been playing on the PS5. You got any questions or anything in particular?
I don't think I have any questions. Do I have a comment?
Go for it.
How much of a beast is that thing? And I don't mean the PS5, I mean GTA. You're going to put GTA onto a third console that game has been alive for.
Yeah.
That game is a motherfucking beast. It has gone through 3 console generations.
Yep.
That thing's fucking insane. But still, yeah, look, I have to come around and have a look.
Yes.
Yeah, and see if it can convince me that it is the way. I doubt
it. I don't know if it convinced you.
Yeah.
Not this early on, anyway.
No,
because the features just are not there. The controller's really cool. It does a whole range of things that I'm never going to use, and
like haptic feedback.
So the haptic feedback I think is actually really good.
Yep.
The way that they sort of utilised it, and then in the different games where it works, it's really good. But one thing that I hated with the DualShock 4 was the 6-axis movement.
Mm-hmm.
When you can so
you can.
So you can move the controller sort of like if you're playing a card game, you could use it like a steering wheel or whatever. So there's certain parts in Astro, because it's designed to show everything that the controller can do, where you've got to fly things with moving the controller around, and I give it to my kids and go, there you go, I'm done. I don't want to do that. But no, like it's the control. There's a weird thing with the controller too, because it's kind of got these 2 stages on the triggers. So picture, your Xbox Elite controller, right? You've got the Switch in it. Yeah, so that Switch is now electronic, but depending on the game, where, like for instance, Fortnite. Okay, I've played a few rounds of Fortnite, and one gun, you'll only have to pull it in that little bit, and you'll actually feel, the stopping point.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't hold you back. You can pull it in all the way, but you'll feel that sort of like a click where the stopping point is, and it'll fire. but then you try and pull the gun in, like you try and pull the trigger in for a different gun to that level, and you'll still feel the click, but the gun doesn't shoot on the screen. You've got to pull it all the way in to shoot it.
That's
So
quite annoying.
so there's little things like that, and you're technically playing a backwards compat version of Fortnite. It's not utilizing the triggers.
Yeah.
So that's just something that's one of those things where it's there's a bit of crossover there, but look, it's got a long way to go, and I think once people get more hands-on with it and using it for certain games, I'd love to try it out with Call of Duty, but I'm not dropping another $100 on it. So
yeah, that kind of feedback, like I get that it's cool, but that will get annoying because eventually what will happen is you'll only play with guns that have got short trigger throws because essentially that's what you spent all your time and effort on an Elite for, was to shorten up trigger throws. So why the hell would I then pick a gun that has a longer trigger throw?
That I think is just a confliction between, because there's no haptic feedback on any games that are running via the backwards compat.
Yeah.
So I think that's
I'm just saying, if you're going to make that a thing, that's going to get annoying pretty quick, in my opinion. It's a gimmick. Well,
apparently on Call of Duty, they're all every gun feels different when you're shooting it. Like I said,
I don't mind if it shakes differently, or but if it's messing with your ability to pull the trigger the fastest that you want to in a multiplayer game, that's gonna get old real quick.
All right, mate. Full Throttle Remastered.
Yeah. So this is on Game Pass this week, so I gave it a crack because I remember playing the original way back when, and it's good. Like, the game hasn't changed at all, obviously. They just made it look prettier, and they've done it the same way as they did with the Monkey Island games a little while ago. It's just
and Day of the Tentacle.
Yeah, they've just made it look prettier. There's a little bit more user friendly in the controls, obviously, but yeah, other than that, it's still a great game. I still like the story. It's pretty short. It's nothing too dramatic in it, but it's just a cool, different story. You can switch between the two different, if you like the old art style, the pixelated art style, you can flick back to that if you want, or you can go back to this new art style that they're using, which is, it's a lot smoother. It's a lot more, I want to call it flash playery, because that's what it feels like. Like when people used to make animations out of Flash Player. It's kind of got that feel to it. So, but yeah, other than that, there's a whole bunch of unlockables that they've added to it, so you can unlock all the different music pieces that are in it, as well as the concept art. So yeah, I've gone through. I smashed it out. It took me about 2 or 3 hours to finish the entire game. It's not very long, especially considering I was just going back and remembering all the puzzles anyway. It actually wasn't that long ago that I played the original. It was only like a year or two ago that I played the original again.
Oh, cool, yeah.
So it was all still pretty fresh in my mind. But yeah, if you're playing it first time through, it might take you a little bit longer, like 5 or 6 hours. If you don't know the puzzles and you don't know what you're doing, and you're not one of those people that just jump straight on the Google the second you can't do something. Or
you could just go and watch someone walk through in 2 hours.
You could. Maybe I should just play it again and pick up those last trophies that I didn't quite get.
Why not?
The first playthrough.
Cool, mate. Worms Rumble was on the PlayStation Plus for this month. Worms Rumble. I have played one round of Worms Rumble. Gosh, absolutely owned, but still didn't come last. That was good. Worms Rumble is just a real-time fighting game, really. It's no longer sort of turn by turn, blowing up each other, shooting each other, as you would with a normal Worms game. You've got, I think, 15 or 20 worms on this little arena that's sort of got some verticality to it, as well as a lot of sideways movement as well, and all still just in that it's 3-dimensional view, but you're running on the 2D plane.
Yep.
And yeah, you just go in and pick up weapons and shoot the shit out of each other.
Well done.
Yeah, I think we'll all have to jump in and have a crack because it's a bit of fun.
Sounds good.
It's got all the stupid over the top stuff that Worms is sort of known for. I'm yet to find the sheep bomb. I do miss that sheep dynamite or whatever it was called, but there's a lot of weird and wacky weapons and some very, very good people playing it that seem to have just sort of gotten on there and gone absolutely nuts with it. All right, mate. Couple of items off your pile of shame. You finished a couple of titles this week?
I did. So the first one I actually finished was I finally went back and finished off Elite Sniper 4. I started Sniper Elite 4, sorry, not Elite Sniper. What was I thinking? Anyway, yeah, so as you probably remember, I started playing this ages ago.
Long time ago.
A long time ago, and don't remember why I stopped playing. I assume I just got sidetracked by other things. But I remember that I sort of got stopped partway through a mission, and I was like, I really should go back and finish that. So I jumped in, I finished it, and realized I was literally like 5 minutes from the actual end of the game. So if I just persevered for 5 minutes, I would have actually finished the game way back when. Which is kind of annoying, but you know, it is what it is. So yeah, so that was it was actually kind of depressing because I was just starting to really get back into it, and then all of a sudden I'm like, oh, that's the end. Oh, okay.
Credits roll. Yep.
Well, don't really want to start again right now. This is not really what I was aiming for, but okay. So anyway, I then jumped back onto Titanfall 2 and finished that, which I had a lot more of that to complete. But even still, not a huge amount. But look, really enjoyed Titanfall 2. I really hope for a third one because the story was pretty cool. Like, it wasn't groundbreakingly awesome. It wasn't anything new, but it was still fun to play. The story was still compelling enough to get through. And it left a couple of things. Man, am I doing well tonight? It left a couple of things open so you could easily continue that story. So, you know, and some of the open endings, and I guess it's been out long enough where I guess I don't really have to worry too much about spoilers, but the fact that you're one of the main antagonist, you never actually get to confront, like, it's kind of annoying. This dude is like baiting you the whole time, and then he gets away, and you're just like, and quite easily, like, and so it's just
You're
like,
sitting there going,
what? Come on, and like, surely we're about
for
that.
Apex. Come on.
Yeah, exactly. You know. So anyway, so that's a bit hokey, but look, still good. Still would happily. I think I could probably go through it again on a harder difficulty, just for the giggles. But yeah, really enjoyed it.
Good stuff. Well, the last couple of things from me, I've started playing around on Minecraft with the RTX on. So I'm in the beta at the moment, playing with that just to, you know, have a bit of a play, have a bit of a look and see how things are progressing in there. There's got an option for the caves, the caves update that's coming out. You heard about that at all?
Sorry, what was that? I didn't quite catch it.
You know, the caves, Minecraft caves and
yes,
mines update?
Yes.
There's an option that I can actually turn that on in the beta now.
Oh, nice.
So they're testing that away.
Mm-hmm.
And, yeah, just sort of, you know, it's Minecraft. You just go in and have a bit of a play. And some more Call of Duty. Call of Duty has made me remember why PC gaming can sometimes shoot me to tears. Because I'm getting screen tearing, and it's the only game I'm getting it on, and I don't know why.
All right, Editing Lucas jumping back in again here. Just want to make a comment about what Snoogs has just said, that this is why I get frustrated or don't like gaming on PC, is because he's having issues with Call of Duty screen tearing and not any other game. First of all, I want to make a comment saying, well, it's not like you don't have any of these problems on other platforms. These sort of things do rear their heads anywhere you go, and they're called bugs, and sometimes the games like to glitch out, so it does happen. But something I want to point out, and I hope that Snoogs doesn't listen to this back, because I'd like to bring it up at a future date and say, I told you so, or see, I called it. But this is a point where I think I know Snoogs well enough now. He's recently just bought a PlayStation 5. We are slowly going to start hearing him well, not necessarily bag on or rag on PC, but he'll slowly start pointing out the negatives in PC gaming, justifying his purchase of the PS5 and how much he loves Sony's PlayStations. So he can justify the fact that he's slowly swinging across back to console gaming, which is fine, but he will, slowly feed us negatives that he's experiencing with PC, justifying his existence with PS5. Sorry, Snoogs, but this is an observation. Let's see how that goes. Back to the show.
Fun time.
Frustrations.
Just go back to Minecraft and play with sculk sensors and stalactites and stalagmites now, because you got those. You can play.
Oh, yeah, I can do that now, can't I? All right. On to some news, shall we, mate?
Let's do it.
Let's go. You've got some info on Cyberpunk. Cyberpunk is, of course, releasing this week.
Yes.
What have you got for us?
So yeah, I'm not. I thought, well, some of it was the first time I'd heard of it. So when I started talking to you about it, you're like, "Yep, I know." I'm like, "Oh, okay." So maybe it's not. Maybe I'm just. Maybe I've been hiding under a rock. I don't know. So anyway, I found out a couple of things, and so the first thing was, I think, a big thing for me, because I was like, "Oh, that is interesting." Is that you can't just steal any old car. Like, this isn't a GTA clone in this instance. So you won't be able to run around just stealing cars for the sake of stealing cars. You will be able to do it if you get the right perks added to your character. However, even then, you won't be stealing cars and being able to keep them. The whole game is geared towards you owning your own vehicle and acquiring your own vehicle. Kind of like a horse, you know. You, like in The Witcher, like Geralt has Roach, you will have Car Roach, Car Roach, and sure, you'll probably be able to buy different types of roaches along the way. But the idea is you have a car; it's your car. Your car actually means something. It's not just this disposable thing that is like, it blew up and like, oh shit, let's just get another one from any old person that's just happened to be driving down the street. So that was interesting.
Do you know if there's customization of the cars?
Not as of yet. I don't know.
I thought if anyone to ask it to be you. Yeah.
Yeah. No. I kind of. Yeah. I hope so. I mean, it'd be a misstep in my opinion, because most open world games like this one in particular, like GTA and even Saints Row, has car customization, at least a limited amount. You should definitely be able to do that, in my opinion. But who knows? Maybe there's not a premium on it for CD Projekt Red. I don't know. Another interesting thing is it will have a streamer mode. And essentially what this will do is it removes the nudity and licensed music from your version of the game, so that you don't have problems with your videos being taken down off streams and stuff like that. I'm not sure how the nudity thing works. I assume it will just sort of censor it as opposed to removing it altogether.
Maybe it'll look like The Sims.
Maybe. But the music itself, what'll happen is the licensed music will be switched out for license-free music, essentially.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that's a really cool feature to have, and I think more games should definitely have that going forward, especially with everything that's been going on the last couple of weeks with Twitch. I think it's just a smart move. And especially
it's a very smart move, but Twitch needs to also work out what it's doing as well. True.
But I think this would eliminate that problem altogether, really. Not that I think we should take the problem off Twitch's hands. Like you said, they need to work out what they're doing and make decisions and stick to them. But I think streaming's here streaming is a thing now. You can't sit there and say it's not. So game developers now thinking about that and putting in tools that make it easier for you to do that, so you can stream their games. That's a win-win. All right, your cool stat. So obviously it's part of
Cool stat.
your cool stat. So your cool stat is what kind of makes up part of your RPG system. So you'll have, your body reflexes, gun, whatever. You know how you normally have a bunch of things. Well, cool is one of them.
You just got your tree, yeah.
Yep. So cool will be one of your core stats. Now that doesn't mean that, if you max it out, you'll just be like Fonzie and be able to click your fingers and babes will just run to you. And I just realized how old that reference is. And I just thought that maybe a lot of people that listen are just going, what the fuck is this dude on? Anyway, from what I've gathered, it's kind of more of a self-control kind of scenario. It helps you to deals with situations with keeping your cool as opposed to being, hey. So it's self-control, critical damage, resistance buffs. Those are the kinds of things it will sort of affect. Then the next one is XP versus street cred. So we've heard a bit about the street cred thing and all that jazz. They will be two different streams. So your XP and your street cred will be two different measurable stats. Obviously, your XP will help you level up your character. And from what I can tell, and this is now my opinion of what I understand it to be, street cred will enhance your ability to affect the world you're in. So obviously, the more street cred you have, the more access to options into how you can just... So I guess in my mind's eye, the idea is that if you have maximum street cred, if that's such a thing in the game, it may be limitless, I don't know. But if there's, say, a top tier, once you hit that top tier, you actually can circumvent certain things. Like you're calling the shots at that point in time. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I like that idea.
And another thing is street cred will be mainly gathered by doing side missions. Now, with that piece of information and a piece of information that I had the other week that stated that you could finish Cyberpunk without completing the main missions, you can do it playing side missions. I'm starting to think that those two pieces of information together, this is what's giving me this idea of how you are able to affect the world and how you may actually be able to finish the game purely with side missions. If you get to the point where you are so high up in the world that you just can pretty much just do whatever you want and no one will stop you.
Okay, that's really interesting. And CD Projekt's sort of known for, throwing little bits in their games that are sort of a bit left of field as well. So I like that idea.
Yeah, so, I mean, like I said, that last bit is really me trying to, from what I understand it to be, like there's no hard and fast, someone told me that this is what it is, but they're all the little pieces put together, and that's what the picture is evolving into from my perspective. And I think that's a cool, and I think it's going to help with replayability, because you can have the playthrough where you go through the missions, then you can have the playthrough where you just do whatever. You can play nothing but side missions or a mix or whatever it is. I think it's just, I think that's what it is.
Awesome.
So I'm excited.
I am too. I've got it. I kicked the download in the guts today. Bit of news from myself. Did you know there was a Metal movie in the works? They've apparently, so I think this is a rumor. There's not anything hard and fast about this actually being completely official. But it looks as though Oscar Isaac is going to play Solid Snake. So Oscar Isaac was, of course, in Star Wars. He was Poe, was he? Dameron?
Yep.
That's his name, yep. It was in Dune and, of course, Ex Machina as well. And, so it looks like he's going to be Solid Snake. I reckon that could pretty much work.
Yeah, it could. I mean, I think he did a good job in Star Wars. He played the played the role pretty well.
Mm-hmm.
For what he was given. So I think he could definitely make a solid Snake. I mean, it's not like Snake is the speech giver, the extended monologuist. So it's not like he there's much to go on. He just, as long as he looks the part, the rest can be filled in by Oscar Isaac.
Well, I was really hoping, that it was going to be Kurt Russell.
I mean, yeah, that would be that would be cool. Or even Jim Carrey, his character from Sucker Punch. Oh no, not Sucker Punch. Kick-Ass 2. Like that is like the parody of Solid Snake right there, isn't it? It's great. Like,
yeah. For anyone that wants to know why Kurt Russell, go and watch Escape from. Should we start him off on the good one or the not so good one?
No, always the good one. Like, you don't get a second chance for that one, man.
Come and watch Escape from New York. So, get stuck into it. Well, that's it for news from me. Have you got any fake news?
Yeah, this just in. Jim Carrey is slated to be Solid Snake in the Metal Gear Solid sequel.
Maybe he's going to come in and train Solid Snake.
Maybe.
And we're not sure whether it's going to be like his character from Kick-Ass or from Sonic.
Right. Fair enough. Anthem's getting a sequel. Promises to be even better by at least 5% than the last one.
At least 5%.
By at least 5%.
Yeah, so it'll come out at a retail price of $1.05.
But they promised they'll get rid of the bit that everyone hated, which was the flying around in robots.
Yes. Oh, God. Right.
Minecraft 2 is in development and will be scheduled for release in 2042.
Yes. One thing to add to your Cyberpunk info that I read today.
Yep.
This is actually real news. So Cyberpunk isn't officially getting a next gen, so an Xbox Series X, S, or a PS5 upgrade at launch. So it's being played on those titles. The version that will be played is the PS4 version or the Xbox One version. The official details from CD Projekt is that it will be coming in 2021. Maybe, or maybe it won't.
Awesome. I could have released that press release. I didn't need their help.
So take that as you will. For those of you that are waiting for a for a next gen upgrade with your Series X or your PS5, turn on all your spoiler alerts now, because you're going to be waiting a while, unfortunately. Of course, it comes out on the 10th. For the best way to give as much money as possible to the developers. If you're playing it on PC, go and pick it up on the GOG store. Yeah,
look, I'm starting to think that maybe CD Projekt Red preempted our game and was just like, we can play that game too, because that's how much useful information is in that press release. Maybe
coming out next year,
or it may not,
or it might not.
We're just making
that is literally what this release said, and it was from one of the senior guys at CDPR.
When you know CD Projekt Red are phoning it in, it's coming next year, or
yes.
It's not.
Or it's not.
Fuck it.
We've been crunching for 6 months. I don't know which way the sky is anymore.
I just get paid to stand here and say things. I don't know what they mean.
All right, well, mate. That's a quick show this evening.
Yeah, look, both of us are pretty used to that. A quick show.
Yeah. Quick show, leaving everyone hanging. Wanting more. Bit disappointed.
Yep.
Well, let's go into some last words. Radicus and the Wraith You guys have been chatting away. It's been quite sedate tonight. There's been a few really, really wrong things from the Radicus.
But even then, sort of tame for even his level normally.
This is true.
It's all been a
true.
bit quiet.
It's coming up on the end of the year. So
Yeah, everyone's tired. Everyone's looking for a holiday, aren't they?
Everyone is.
Tired of this year, man. Bloody hell.
I know. Everyone seems to have this opinion that on the 1st of January, everything's going to go back to normal.
Yeah, no, it won't. It won't. We know it won't, but it's nice to hope. It's nice to dream. It's nice to pretend. Live in a fantasy land just for a little while. But hey, that's why we're here. That's why we're the Aussie Gamers Express. That's all we do is live in a fantasy land. It's called Xbox,
That's
PlayStation,
exactly right.
PC, Switch, and sometimes Dreamcast, apparently. So, never mind.
Dreamcast guy got his vid taken down. Oh, sucked in.
He was spoiling 2 side missions. To be fair, CD Projekt Red have been doing enough of their spoiling for the last several weeks. Not sure that they get to play, high and mighty on that one.
All right, last words. Next week is our end of year show.
Yes.
It is our Game of the Year show. Have you been working away on your list?
Well, I've spent the last 12 months working away on my list, playing as many games as I possibly could.
I have as well. I've been ticking down, writing notes on certain games and where they sort of fit, and seeing how it all goes. So that'll be fun. We're not actually going to be doing a live show of that, so everyone that gets to listen to it on release day, it'll be a first listen for everyone.
Yeah. So to our live crew, sorry, but this is the last one, guys.
Yeah.
We should have said that at the beginning. They probably would have built it up a bit more, played up a bit more.
Right. That's all right.
But yeah, penultimate show for the year and last live recording for the year.
That's true.
We record normally live, but it just won't be with you guys next week.
Yes, we'll be in our own little channel hiding away.
No spoilers for you.
None for you. All right, usual plugs. We've got Aussie Gamers TV and Snoogervision over on Twitch, and of course Grejio XBL on Instagram. Any other last words for yourself, Greg?
Be kind to each other. It's almost the end of the year. Stop and chill. Take stock. Breathe.
Sit back, relax, and don't forget to watch The Mandalorian.
Totally. I caught up on the weekend. That's what I did on the weekend. I actually started watching and caught up because our Disney Plus is about to lapse. We're getting rid of it.
Yep.
So it was like, whoa, better get in and watch that before it loads. But yeah, how good is it? I don't want to spoil it for anyone, but I want to talk about it.
Well, I haven't watched the latest episode yet, so.
Oh, all right. When did the latest one come out? When is it, 6
Friday.
or 7? Oh yeah, so I would have seen it. So 6. Ooh, you wouldn't need to watch that. You need to watch it.
Yes.
Whoa.
I was out on Friday night, so I got home and jumped online and then sort of went to bed at 11:30 midnight and went, damn it, I forgot about it, damn it. And yeah, and there you go. You can sign in with your Xbox account and get a free month.
All over it, my friend. we were actually going to wait until it was all out and then just trade in the free month so we could just watch that. But then we realized that when the way we've cancelled it, we've got until like almost the end of this month. So yeah, we might actually squeeze them all in because I think there was only 8 episodes last season. So if there's only 8 this season, we might just squeeze the last one in. Might.
Yeah, I think there's only 2 more this season.
Yeah. So we'll definitely get this Friday, and then I'm pretty sure we'll get the following Friday squeezed in as well. So that'll be 2. So yeah, we'll get it just before it all falls over, so I can then save that for something else.
Awesome.
When they re-release the Star Wars trilogy better or something, I don't know.
Again, we'll just wait until next season if The Mandalorian's out.
Yep.
Yeah. Yes. All right, let's close that up, mate.
No
Thank
worries.
you very much to everyone who's listening to the show, and especially those that are still listening this far along. Don't forget to continue any of the topics we've discussed over in our Discord channel or hit us up via our socials. While you're at it, hit up our website, www.theagexp.com. Links, as always, are in the podcast show notes and descriptions. That's all from me for the week. I have been Snoogs.
And I have been Grejio.
See ya!
Ooh, once again, we have reached the end of another week in gaming, and if you've listened all the way up until this point of the show, then there's a good chance that you're a perfect fit for the AgeXP Discord channel, and you can join by using the links in the show description. Once you've joined, you will find yourself within a community of amazing people who are all interested in one thing, and that's gaming. You can also join in live while we record the show and have your say. Now, don't forget to subscribe to this podcast so you'll be notified when the next episode is available for your listening pleasure. Until next time, take care, be safe, and keep on gaming.